Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be going over all of the rare Coromon locations. Now, Coromon can be broken up into uncommon, common, rare, and legendary, essentially, but it's not like Nexomon where the rarity really affects its viability or anything. You can only even find these rarities in the database or their summary. So when I say rare Coromon, I'm more so referring to stuff that's not all over the place all the time. Anyways, by the end of this video, you'll most likely have a location for all of the base forms of any Coromon that you had your eye on specifically. That's a bit more rare than the average Coromon. I have plans to do a Dark Magic Coromon video too, so stay tuned for that. That's more endgame. Those are technically rare as well, but will not be included here. And I'm also thinking about just doing a base form location guide for all the Coromon, sort of putting the guides together. Let me know if that's something you guys would like to see in the future. I got a ton of ideas, so yeah, anyways, just make sure to sit back, relax, and let's dive right in. Firstly, we will not be covering any of the starters either, just to avoid redundancy. I covered them in yesterday's video, linked below, so they are rare, but not included here. Also, secondly, a lot of these Coromon have multiple spawn locations. I'm going to be showcasing what I think are the easiest finds, as in some locations they seem to be much more rare than others. So first up, we have Mino, which isn't super rare, but it can be found just after the bridge near the R&D lab. Next, we have everyone's favorite Biddy Bolt, which can be found as early as Woodlow Forest. In these two patches of grass just before the road forks. Next, if you travel a bit to the northeast, you'll be able to run into Frova, an ice type, quite early on. Next, you may not know this, but on Donor Island, and the Woodlow Harbor for that matter, you can actually run into wild Coromon on the coastline. I know this thanks to Cirque, I didn't actually know this. Here you can find a Fiddly, AC, and Tin Shell. On the second floor of the Donor Island Cave, you can find a Gosslime, the electric goo Coromon here, that looks pretty cool. In the Soggy Swamps second area, if you travel to the far east near the Zen Shroom and the chest, you'll be able to find the fire-type Squidma. Later on, if you obtain the surfboard, you'll be able to capture Quagoo in the third area in this upper right corner just before Pobbery, so make sure to come back here when you do. Right under the Mart in Pobbery, you can actually find Lunar Pup. I think this is a great spot to hunt for that perfect form, should you wish. Under the Hyperloop is the Hergy and Ginks spawns. You can find Squidly near the cemetery. Next, if we head over to the Haunted Hills under the Pobbery Church, you can find Seraface in this location. Otogi can be found in the exact same spot. Same goes for the Ice-type Froshell. Then we can find Pyrochick in the second room, which is a pretty cool Fire-type bird. Over to the desert, right when you first enter it after the Pobbery Hyperloop, you can find Decibite. In the Vermeer Grotto, within the first area, you can fish for Shimshell. You can then find Blizzbird in the second area. in this patch of grass. If we head over to the volcano and go down into the first basement floor, past the first minecart, you can find Blobby. And yeah, pretty much later on in the game, the more rare spawns, like in the Ice Mountain and in the final location, start to be evolutions and, like I said, Dark Magic spawns, which will have their own video because they're kind of specific. But I do hope that this will give you an idea on where to find every base form for the more rare Coromon in the game. Some of these aren't mega rare, like I said, but can only be found in specific locations, whilst others might actually be quite rare. So yeah, I do hope this guide was helpful, and if it was, make sure to subscribe for more Coromon content, as well as general monster taming, of course. You can also check out my Twitter, my Discord, my Patreon, all links below. Special thanks to our patrons, especially Jim Hamilton, Steel Case, Dark Persona, and Dro Ghost, and with that, we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.